Well, hello everybody. Welcome to this special edition of running the process on the Earth herself on this beautiful Earth Day. Now, what is this all about? Basically, it is a process from Access Consciousness. If you're not familiar with Access Consciousness, please check out accessconsciousness.com. And Access has a lot of body processes that we can use to run on our own bodies. And this particular one actually works both on the earth as well as on us, on our own bodies. And in December, I sort of had that hit to run this with a group that I was basically online with. And we did this process all together. And then I got this hit to continue in January. So I did it 31 days in January. And then I realized towards the end of that month that it really was a contribution to keep going. And so it now is going to be a year-long thing every day, 15 minutes, where you can join me live on Facebook, on YouTube, and join me basically running this process together. Now, it's really interesting. When we first started, some people were like, oh, what is this about? Why are you doing this? This is not really helpful. You should be going into more action and you should be doing something else for the earth. This is ridiculous. It's just energy. And to me, that was really interesting because I've gotten quite a lot of feedback from people all around the world that have been on this journey with me, saying that things around them are changing and that their animals also are receiving this process. And some animals have had some amazing changes in their bodies. Animals, excuse me, animals that have some skin issues, etc. But even with the comment of like, hey, what is this? Why are you doing this? This is ridiculous. Um, in a way, it's very interesting to not acknowledge what we can be with our energy. And if you are not familiar with Dr. Dane here and his book, Be You and Change the World, please read it, because this is all that it is about. It's like when we are being ourselves, when we are truly being an energy that is us, we can change the world by our very being. And so to me, this is one of those moments where, by us choosing to do something together for the earth, even though it is only an energetic process, what is it that we are changing? And I can't define it. I don't have words for that. I don't know what exactly will change or what the result will be, or if there is a result. And frankly, it doesn't matter to me, because every time that I ask the earth, hey, earth, is this a contribution? I get a yes. And so why not continue then? If this is the case, why not continue with this particular adventure here together and see what else is possible? So if you are intrigued by this and you are on Facebook right now, maybe share this. The more people we have around the world doing this together, what else can we contribute to the earth, all of us, everywhere, if we are willing to actually use all of our energies together, connect with each other, and run this process together? So let's get started. So the process is called, and this is again a process from Access Consciousness. Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here came up with this process a few years ago when they heard about, when they actually saw the TED Talk by Alan Savory about desertification. And if you're interested in that, in my post, there is a link to a page that I made that also has that TED Talk on it. So you can watch that. But in terms of desertification, it is really something that is about the soil on the entire planet. And it's not just in the desert. Desertification is basically a loss of livelihood in the soil, and hence everything that comes along with that. So this process by Access Consciousness can energetically assist the microbes and everything else in this soil to get lively again. And so, truly, what else is possible if we are all willing to be an energy for the earth? So, you can face the palms of your hands towards the earth, and then basically just let's get started. So, I'm going to call up the process now, and it's called Elimination and Eradication of the Microbiotic Desertification of Dermis and the Actualization of the Microbiotic Generative Dermis for Body and Earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all nine, shorts, boys, povats, and beyonds. And so this last part here is the clearing statement in Access Consciousness. If you're not familiar with this, please go to theclearingstatement.com and you will find everything about that there. So again, elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all nine, shorts, boys, povats, and beyonds. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all nine, shorts, boys, povats, and beyonds. And truly, just trust that this process starts running when we call it. You don't have to do anything. Just allow to connect with the earth right now. It doesn't matter where you are. You could be sitting on the ground, in the grass. You could be in a high-rise building. None of that really matters. You're being an energy. Connect to the earth. And I will keep calling up this process as more people are joining. But in essence, a lot of times you just have to call it up once. And you can even say something like, hey, that process I ran the other day with Susie, run, and it will run again. So one more time, eradication and elimination of the microbiotic desertification of dermis and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all nine, shorts, boys, povats, and beyonds. And please allow this energy to spread out as far as the earth desires. And please also connect with everyone else who is running this process right now, who has been running this process, who will be running this process. And allow ourselves to encompass the planet. And like I said, this can be a contribution in any environment, even in the rainforest. This does not have to be in a deserted area. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all nine, shorts, boys, povats, and beyonds. And one part about this too, please receive at the same time from the earth. In Access, we talk about gifting and receiving, being in simultaneity. We often have the point of view that when we're doing something for the earth, we have to do. And in doing, often there isn't a lot of receiving. So make an effort also to receive. How can you do that? You can pull energy from the center of the earth through your feet and out the top of your head, while at the same time running this process on the earth. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, pulvats, and beyonds. And you as the being are infinite, so please expand out. Your being is bigger than the earth. Your being goes into all areas in the universe. So be that. I know it's very hard to fathom. Our mind cannot really grasp that. And yet, when we expand out, usually our body relaxes because we're giving our body more space when we do that. We no longer try to be inside of our bodies. We actually acknowledge that our body is inside of us. And our body enjoys it when we give it space. Space between each molecule. There is already more space than there is matter, and yet we try to compress. Every time there's a problem, we contract. So expanding out can be such a contribution. So please expand out even more as you're running this process. And more. And I'm going to just call it again, even though it's running. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, pulvats, and beyonds. And by the way, happy Earth Day. Happy meaning what? Can you be happy today? Even in the face of all the stuff that is going on with the earth, all the problems we have identified or are denying. Either way, what if you were willing to be happy? And just get a sense of that for a moment. Is the earth enjoying us being happy or being significant? And please ask for this process to intensify. It may make things fall. Who knows? Something just fell here. So thank you for intensifying. And do it even more. And again, this is really not about doing, it's more about being. So you don't have to figure out how to, just ask. Ask to step up the process, to intensify it, and trust that it does. You don't have to feel it. If you wonder about these things, just ask, did I just intensify it? Yes or no? So again, elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, pulvats, and beyonds. I personally would like for this planet to thrive, not just survive. And for us to have a different way to be with the creatures on this planet, with the plants on this planet, without categorizing things as good and bad, just acknowledging everybody's contribution to the whole. Even a cockroach. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, puvats, and beyonds. You can close your eyes or keep them open. This is entirely up to you. You don't even have to sit still for this. You can move. Be present with the earth. A lot of times when we start moving, we feel like we are no longer present. So just ask to be present. Please don't try to focus. Focusing is one of those things that we are taught in school that for a lot of us have not really ever worked, but just made us more aggravated, more impatient. What if you were more present, if you expanded out? What if being present was just a space and not something you do? And again, please connect with one another all around the planet. And please receive from each other too. Allow the contribution from the earth and from everybody else. I'm going to call the process up again. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, puvats, and beyonds. And please know you are being a difference here on this planet. Every choice you make impacts the future of this planet. Yes, you and your choices. Don't think you are not significant. You are. This is one of the lies we're being told, that we alone cannot make a difference, but we can. Please know that you being different, you being willing to choose outside the box makes a difference. Please be aware of all the different choices you have available. You don't have to do things just because they were done like this for 100 years or 1,000 years. That doesn't mean it's right. It could just be out of convenience or because it's been done like this. And I'm sure many of you have heard this before. When you tried to change something, somebody would say, "This is how we've done it." What does that mean? It only means this is how we've done it. Doesn't mean it's good or bad, but also doesn't mean that it has to stay that way. So when you know that there is a change that is required, please keep being that energy and do whatever actions are required, but mainly be that energy of change. And all of us now, let's ask for change. Let's ask for people to wake up. Let's ask for people to be aware of what is going on. And not from a righteousness, just from an awakening of, hello, more consciousness, please. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povats, and beyonds. So again, expand out even more and receive even more from the earth as well. And while we're here together, let's do something else too. Just right now, tap into the earth again and ask her to show you what the earth is like in 50 years if you weren't here. And just perceive that energy. And it's not about calculating if you're still alive in 50 years or not. This is not about logic. So please perceive that energy. And now let the earth show you what things would be like if you weren't here. Do you perceive the difference? So maybe if you think you're not important, maybe that just changed. And please know the earth really, really, really is looking for us to have joy, Enjoy really changes things. Us being serious about everything is not necessarily a contribution on an energetic level. It just intensifies everything. And sometimes if you are feeling like, oh, just try and even change the smile. Just by smiling, you can maybe sometimes change something. And in Access, we have many, many, many tools to change what is going on for you. Again, maybe find that book by Dr. Dane here called Be You and Change the World. And if you want to know a lot of the different tools of Access Consciousness, Dr. Dane here has a huge YouTube channel with lots and lots and lots and lots of tools. Pretty much for any occasion in your life. It's such an amazing library. And it's all free. How does it get any better than this? And let's ask to intensify the process one more time too. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povats, and beyonds. And if you would like to keep playing with this, please join me every day for 15 minutes from somewhere on the earth, wherever I be at the moment, whatever time it is. If you follow the link to that page that I posted, there's some information about all of this and also a calendar. That calendar will be accurate always at least a day before. So please check it there. Or just subscribe to my YouTube channel and it will let you know when I'm live. Whatever works for you. Elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povats, and beyonds. And you don't have to stop running this process. You can go on with it. And like I said, if you need a little boost every day, come and join me and everybody else. There's always people from all over the world, which I find so cool. I'm so grateful. It's amazing getting that sense that energetically we're literally connecting all over the globe at the same time. And just be aware of what contribution this is to the planet. You don't have to conclude anything, just ask, is this a contribution? How big a contribution? Is this supporting the planet? And again, we don't have to know how or why. Just trust. Trust the answer you get. And again, elimination and eradication of the microbiotic desertification of dermis and the actualization of the microbiotic generative dermis for body and earth. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, pulvats, and beyonds. And thank you all for being here. What else is truly possible? And please join me again whenever works for you. I'll see you again soon.